New York's classic rock, Q1043.
New York's classic rock, Q104.3. It's Heart. And what about love?
Oh, and what about the heart pictures in Lynn Goldsmith's
Well, wait a
book?
second. Look at this. Look at this picture here.
We're in a radio studio, so unfortunately your audience can't see it.
No, but we can see it and we can get excited about it. This photo of Nancy Wilson is awesome.
Thank you so much. Well, she was young. And I think youth has its amazing beauty. But
I saw her last year, and she's not young anymore, and she's still
No, she
awesomely
looks
hot.
good.
Yeah.
She looks great. They both look great.
Yes, they all, I really feel like our generation, they're actually a little bit younger than me. We are just not going to let go.
No, hell no.
Hell no. We're hanging in there.
Well, Lynn Goldsmith is one of the world's most famous and highly regarded photographers, and her newest, very, very fine book is Music in the 80s. And, I mean, as Shelley was saying, this is heavy. This book is heavy.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures in there.
Yeah, but it's also heavy because the quality of the paper is so good.
Oh.
I mean, this is a beautifully done book. It's from Rizzoli, and they know how to publish art books.
Yes. Well, any book that I've ever done on the subject of music, because years ago, really good publishers, art book publishers like Rizzoli or Abrams or Taschen, music was not an area that they focused on. And I believe when I did my New Kids book, which was so successful in 1990 with Rizzoli, that changed publishing, because they all realized, the publishers, that actually people who love music love photography.
And love looking at these photos from the past, because it takes you back to that day. And I love the pictures of, the city, the backgrounds.
It not only takes you back, but I think it enables one to share with their child, or sometimes their grandchild, that moment in time, which actually looks a little bit like today, where I just walked past a store the other day and I thought, they had a CBGB's T-shirt on the mannequin, and she had the long hair with the ski cap on, and I thought, that was me.
Well, Lynn Goldsmith's work is not only between covers of some really great books, but it's in numerous museum collections. When you were starting out, I don't know if you could ever imagine that your work would be in the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery, the Museum of Modern Art, the Chicago Museum of Contemporary Photography, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, yes.
Yes.
The Polaroid collection, the Kodak collection. Your work has been on and between the covers of Life, Newsweek, Time, Vanity Fair, Rolling Stone, National Geographic Traveler, Sports Illustrated, People, Elle, Interview, The New Yorker. The list goes on and on and on.
And look, it's funny. I was thinking this morning about how lucky we all were to have publications like Life and Look magazine and Rolling Stone, in those days, the print size and how much it meant to us, especially Life magazine for me. So I feel incredibly honored that, I have that in my resume of the past.
But Lynn Goldsmith, you know better than anyone that photography is a lot more than taking a picture.
Well, I never think of it as taking. I think of it as making. You make a photograph. For some, and I've always thought that way. Taking a picture just doesn't even, it gives me the chills. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. That's why I don't really photograph people without their permission. And it was hard for me even when I did work with National Geographic, which you're not supposed to. On some of these shoots, you were supposed to say, let people know, is it okay if I shoot you? No, you're just supposed to shoot. But I personally was just never comfortable with that, because my mindset was always one of making pictures. And I was making them really because I knew how much pictures meant to me. And I felt that other people who either needed to connect in some way to whether it was a musician, an entertainer, an athlete, a group of the Maasai tribe in Africa, whatever it was. You felt more part of the world when you really looked at a picture that hit home for you. So I've been fortunate to have a career that I feel had some small purpose.
Well, the biggest stars in the world granted you amazing access.
Well, they didn't always grant it. I had to beg.
But ultimately
Yeah,
they did,
ultimately
which is
they did.
the ultimate sign of respect.
And your work has also been on album covers.
Yes, a lot of album
iconic
covers.
album covers.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, come on, in your field, you're the top.
Well, there are other people who are very. I appreciate that. I'll take the
I'm
compliment.
taking it into the rock photography world.
Well, even in the rock photography world, there are, the issue at hand is I was one of the early women.
Right. And there are great photographers. One had his birthday yesterday, the day before, Bob Gruen.
That's
Right.
right.
Great photographer. But I mean, really, we're talking about
Well,
a
I
body
was
of
in
work
focus.
that's pretty incredible.
I was in focus. Bob was really stoned, okay?
Lynn, I was wondering, with all these phenomenal photos, what or whose pictures do you have at your homes?
Oh,
What's
well,
on your walls?
I have in my file cabinets.
No, she
No,
means
no, on
hanging
the
on the wall.
walls.
Well, I have a gallery. It's called Rock and Roll Photo Gallery, and you can go online and look at Rock and Roll Photo Gallery. It's not just my photographs, and I consider those my walls. I started collecting, and there were early pictures of Bob Dylan by Barry Feinstein, Don Hunstein, a number of really great photographers, and then there was the Beatles pictures and Terry O'Neill's pictures of the Beatles. So I really have collected myself. So I somehow created this rock and roll photogallery.com, a gallery. And so really I have all of those people that meant a lot to me. Jimi Hendrix. They remind me every day of, I think, why music attracted me originally, and that was, it was really all about love. It wasn't about today. I think many of the other things that are associated with it, like becoming famous.
That makes sense to me. And is there one photo you are most proud of, or which few?
Oh, my very first photo, which was in 1964, and it was the feet of the Beatles, because I didn't like the Beatles, and that's why.
What? Who doesn't like the Beatles?
Someone who likes the Stones.
You can't like both.
Oh yeah, in those days you chose. It was one or the other.
So you were going for the bad boys.
Absolutely.
You were going for the bad boys.
Yeah,
you know what that
yeah.
means? That means that deep down inside you were a bad girl.
Oh,
Bad girl.
Yeah, I am a bad girl.
It's Lynn Goldsmith with us. We'll be right back at Q104.3. Just very quickly, because it veers away from photography and the point of your visit, Lynn. You were a pioneer also in music video and film, and you were the director of the very first rock concert series on network television, which was In Concert on the ABC television network. That was 72, right? 1972. Yes. But you were also the manager of Grand Funk Railroad.
Actually, that's how I became the co-manager, because I had been directing first for Joshua Television, which became ABC, something that ABC signed on. Mm-hmm. And Joshua White really deserves all the credit for kind of bringing it to rock and roll to late night TV. And then during that, by the time we were going to do a special on Grand Funk Railroad,
which was called We're an American Band.
No, no, it was
Didn't
before.
you do a film called We're an American Band with them?
No, but what happened was Grand Funk had broken from Terry Knight.
Right.
And they put out an album called Phoenix, which didn't sell at all. So they were very scared, and they had their road manager managing them. And their road manager really didn't have ideas for where he wanted to take them. And so I was kind of done with directing, and I said, listen, I have this idea. We're an American band, and if everybody follows everything that I say, I will work for free until you have a #1 single in all 3 trades. And they said, we never had a #1 single. And I said, well, I'll work for free till you do.
And they did.
Yes.
And they did. Q104.3. And the rest, as
The
they
rest
say, is
rock
history.
history, yeah.
It's Lynn Goldsmith with us here at Q104.3.
Okay, so iconic rock photographer Lynn Goldsmith. I'm putting you on the spot in your personal life here.
Okay.
I gotta know, what was Bruce Springsteen like as a boyfriend?
Well, I have a book coming out with Tash next year.
You're doing a tell-all?
No. But Bruce wrote something very nice for it, and I actually tried to leave myself completely out of it. It really, and I just recently got that writing, which moved me a great deal.
So he wrote something for your book?
Well, it's on him.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you're writing a book, but
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
but
now.
that's really nice.
And
That's
it's very
really-
nice,
yes,
but
it
you
was-
didn't answer my question.
Yes, it was very nice, especially since I didn't ask for that. I asked if you would write something about the E Street Band, because I really feel nothing against you, Shelley, but my personal life is my personal
Okay,
life.
so she's not going to answer. Damn! But I was just wondering that on the way in. I'm thinking, wow.
A lot of people who love Bruce, wonder. And, all I can say is that he was a very sensitive, lovely boyfriend, and that we were young. And I don't think either one of us were truly ready to make the kind of commitment that
That you both did later in life
yes.
with other people.
Thank you,
How
Jim.
long were you together?
That's why he has his job, folks.
That's
he
right.
knows
He's
what
a
to say when.
peacemaker. But how long were you together?
I don't really answer those questions. It wasn't that long in terms of my entire life. It was a blip.
Okay, music
Blip.
music in the 80s. Lynn Goldsmith. It's a beautiful book. You can get it signed and meet Lynn tomorrow at and this is just an incredible art gallery. I've been there for some shows before. They do a really nice job. It's the Morrison Hotel Gallery, and it's in Soho on Prince Street.
Right.
And the exhibition is already underway, and it continues through the 29th.
Yeah, it's a small exhibition. It's only up really for the promotion of the book. And we just picked some of the pictures from the 80s. So it's not a full blown out, Lynn Goldsmith exhibit. Those usually go on for about a month. This is really just to honor the book.
But you have the book signing tomorrow
Yes.
evening, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m.
Absolutely.
And
What a perfect holiday gift this is.
this is a
Even
Oh
for
my
Halloween,
God.
it's got the orange banner.
no, but this is great. I mean, it's very difficult for me to explain with words the beauty that is captured on these pages through her photography.
Extraordinary
Well,
photos.
one of the I really didn't want to do a book on the 80s. It was suggested to me, and so I started when I don't want to do something, I figure I better look into it. And as I started putting the pictures together, I realized what an amazing decade that was, because it was the range of music went from soul to rap to electronica, to even jazz musicians like Herbie Hancock, who had his hit in the 80s. And it was just such a wide range. And the fashion was so wide-ranging. And I think it's all because of the effect of MTV, So in doing it, I did the book alphabetically so that you could see like Bananarama next to Barry Manilow, and you'd see the fashion difference.
All of a sudden, I just heard Bananarama's version of Venus in my head.
I
know?
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they came up and visited with us. one
Yeah.
morning.
Such different music stylings, Bette Midler, and then you had Michael Jackson and the beginning of Madonna and Cyndi Lauper, and it was really an incredibly fertile time where music then became something that, because it was visual, MTV made us more like one world, where we could, what was happening in England and how people dressed affected us. So that was the great thing about the pictures in the book and discovering that.
Okay, well, it's Morrison Hotel Gallery. That is 116 Prince Street in Soho, and it's tomorrow, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Book signing with Lynn Goldsmith, celebrating the publication of the incredible book, Music in the 80s. And we thank you for hanging out with
We
us
do.
this
Oh,
morning.
I love coming here.
Well,
We love having you here,
having
Lynn.
you here.
New York's classic rock. Q1043.